Alright. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Qatar here for round 9 of the season in RFL season 11. Tonight we are just going over, just past halfway through the season, round 9 out of 16. And just about now, Lord James starting his qualifying lap. Let's go on board with James down the straight, the only DRS zone, very long straight into a very fast and tight first turn 2, followed by a immediate right. Watch out for the curbs there. 7th gear, 8th maybe, no, stays in 7th, goes down to 5th, nicely takes the curb into a small hairpin, pretty big radius that one. Now into second part of the circuit. Very tricky not to get an invalidation here on this particular part of the circuit. Just a small curved straight. Catch the breath a little bit, rest the hands. And now we go through this triple right hand. Close to the invalidation there. 6th gear, that one. Very nicely into the final corner. Very quick. Very fast final corner. 5th gear, 6th, 7th. Wide open with the DRS. Deployment has been used. And Lord James sets a 120.890. Goes provisional pole position. Following up is, I think, one of the Mercedes. Vapid on an outlap. Let's go on board with Vapid as Pistachio, his teammate for today's race, goes third fastest at 122.997. Let's have an off-board shot of Vapid working his way around the circuit of Qatar. Very tricky, this one, real life. Had a couple of drivers really struggling after race. One to the strain that it caused, the heat. Very significant around the circuit. We've only had this track once before. 2023, I was in 2021. Where it was late, very late in the season. I think it was in November, that race. So a little bit cooler temperatures. Into the triple right-hander. Let's see how Vapid takes these corners. Sixth, flat out. So Vapid taking these lines very nicely indeed into the final corner and the exit. Deployment has already been used a bit earlier, I feel, than James here, as he crosses the line to go third fastest with a 121.505. Colonel Panic moving up to second with 21.215. Sigma Alonso, Lord James's teammate, up in 4th place with a 21.785. As I think I just seen Dr. Mo saying a lap time 21.9. 21.9. I'm seeing that lap. Tom Gorian is on an outlap, so I think most of the drivers are set 1, except the bottom 4. Scott, a name we've not seen in a very long time. Last time he raced was around Portimao in Portugal, one of the earlier rounds of the season. He's missed, I think, 4 races. He's back today. And I think next week as well, so it's always good to see Scott back on track. Has made very bold claims that he can challenge for race wins these next 2 rounds. And I will be very eager to see if he can live up to his own expectations. As through the final corner goes Scott, but I think he's going to go for another warm-up lap. Doing 2 warm-up laps. Is he Tom Gorian, who is on an out lap, he's going to start his lap this time around, leading the championship currently by quite a nice margin now compared to his nearest rival. I shall tell you the championship standings in between the race and the qualifying end. Norm was saying that he's not been very happy around the circuit, finding he has not been able to find the right lap times that he's satisfied with. But let's see if he can turn it around. This qualifying, down to third gear for this small hairpin. There's that, very tight with the track limits, and yeah, indeed, he does invalidate his lap time. So Fresh, Tom Gorian and Scott are the only three drivers to not set a lap time yet. To have another run, another go, that'll come later on. Scott's about to go through the penultimate corner to start his qualifying lap, I think. Yep, he's activated hot lap mode. And down the main straight, opening up the letterbox on the rear wing. Wide down the straight, a big, very weavy you can see there. Into turn one, let's go on board with the Ferrari man. Nice section of corners. Stays off the sausage curbs. Those are detrimental. If you hit them, damage is very likely to be caused. You see, Scott's car seems very loose in the rear end. I do have to say that Ferrari looks very wiggly. Second gear, very aggressively shifting down to second. Many drivers taking it in third. He's taking it in second. Trying to get that little bit of extra turn in to force the car around a bit easier. Now it's small break before we head into the triple right-hander. Oh no, that was a little bit, that was just lag, so just lag there. A lot of lag as Scott goes through the final corner. Now opening up the DRS, the DRS zone comes right after the final corner. Let's see what Scott is able to do. Scott is able to put himself in third place very nicely indeed with a 1:21.230. So only 15 thousandths of a second of Kennel Panic in second place. So Scott definitely has qualifying pace for him, running for him tonight, as Tom had actually gone into the pits to replace his tires and get some extra fuel in. So we will be seeing another attempt of the Scotsman in the blue Alpine, just in a few short moments. I think Rapid Coot is on a lap now, on his second lap of the session. Gonna try and improve on his lap time. I think that he's got the tools and the skills to improve even more on the lap. Let's see how good he is. He's 31 thousandths of a second down on his lap. I think it does say here plus 31 thousandths of a second slower than his personal best. To sector 2 we are. Very tricky section, that one. Left-hander now. Before he gets, as Sigma Alonso has been disqualified from the session for going the opposite direction. So, okay, interesting to see. So that puts him all the way down to last place in 15th. So everyone behind him obviously moves up a place as Scott gets out of the way nicely there of Vapid Coot in the Mercedes through the final corner. Now, deployment fully used, opening up his DRS down the main straight. As a Ferrari glitches onto the circuit, he does improve on his lap time. He does by just about 2 tenths of a second. Goes from 0.5 to 0.369. Nice. 369, indeed a very nice number. So next up, Tom Gordon, who's on a lap now. Hopefully he doesn't get it invalidated like he did in the previous run. Let's see how he takes these corners. He's going to take them flat. Ooh, he lifts a little bit, just a tiny bit. Almost wide there. Still keeps it on track though. Into the final corner. Already used up his deployment available to him as we hit 5 minutes left in the session. Let's see what Tom Gordon can do. Where does him put himself? 5th place. Only 5th place. Okay, so not really ideal as Lord James retires from the session, so he feels like he's set a good enough lap time. He only did one lap. Wait, the question is though, wasn't... Ooh. Oh, hold up a minute. Lord James was supposed to have a quali ban. Lord James has a quali ban. He was not allowed to qualify. Oh, that may... Ooh, interesting scenes. Yes, Vapid has confirmed it. Vapid did just confirm it just now in chat. That, indeed, Lord James does have a quali ban, and he wasn't supposed to qualify. That is major calamities, as Dr. Mo spins across the circuit. Major calamities. What is the rule for that? Like, what's the outcome if you don't follow a qualifying ban? That's interesting to see how that's going to play out, because that will definitely put Lord James in a very poor position now. Very poor indeed. Two McLarens, I think, are on a second warm-up lap. So technically, Scott and Colonel Panic would be starting first and second. In theory. That's put a massive damp. That is actually, that's surprising. I am speechless. I completely missed the fact that he did have a I thought I heard he had a qualifying ban. And he's gone on track to set his lap time, and just realized, yeah, he does have a quali ban, and let's see what kind of action Vapor will have to take against that, because that's breach. He's basically broken the rules there, so that's gonna be a interesting outcome. Can't believe it. I genuinely can't believe it. Kirby in the AlphaTauri is on an outlap. Let's see what the American in the Italian Mobile can do. Opening up the DRS. This is a pretty high-speed circuit, and he did say he struggles less on high-speed circuits than the lower-speed ones. Let's go on board with Kirby. Come on, let's have a lap. Let's have a good time. You can already see he takes these corners relatively easy compared to other drivers, because Kirby usually doesn't do practice, really doesn't. He barely plays the game, exception of Saturdays when RFL is on. He struggles to get the car turned and does invalidate his lap time. Oh, there's been a massive accident. Columbia's retired from the session. Janie and Clumby have collided. I've just caught that. Massive accident there. Don't know what's happened. I don't know what's happened. That's really confusing. Deaton retires from the session in the process as well. Very confused as to what's going on there. As Colonel Panic is on an outlap. What has Scott done? Scott just gone off track and dirtied his tyres. I don't know why, but yeah, Panic in front of him is on a lap time, and these two will challenge for pole position because I'm 100% sure Lord James is not going to be starting there. With only 2 seconds left remaining, and now the session is officially over. The drivers that managed to start the laps will be able to finish them. Colonel Panic, generally a very quick driver, but very poor racecraft. Unfortunately, let's see if he can turn that around tonight. Hopefully, because I can't imagine what's going to happen if he doesn't. Honestly, the amount of accidents he's been involved in is quite ridiculous indeed, which is unfortunate. But we shall see how this turns out for him today. Into the triple right-hander. Down to 6th gear. Over the line. Panic does improve, and he does go provisional pole position. He goes faster than Lord James. Scott has not improved his lap time, and he's crashed his car in frustration. So Scott starts in 4th place. So he must have dropped the position, because Tom Gorian, cheeky Tom Gorian, puts his car in 3rd place right at the end. So, Colonel Panic is officially on pole position with a 120.888, so just 0.02 of a second quicker than Lord James in the Haas, who will definitely have repercussions for setting a lap time in the first place. Tom Gorian in 3rd, 4th is Scott W28.10.04, aborted his 2nd lap. Vapakut in 5th. Very close between these guys, very, very close. I'm very excited to see how the race is gonna play out. Deaton, 6th, 7th EBI, Dr. Mo Kozlesko, Pistachio, Jenny, Kirby, Clumby, and So Fresh, who's the only one to not set a lap time, round off the grid. Oh, interesting. So I take it, I'm seeing also in chat that apparently Colonel Panic was in the way of somebody's hot lap. So Colonel Panic causing once again, the up 10th accident this season. Don't like to see that. We really don't. Colonel Panic causing another accident. Where have I seen that before? Unfortunate. It's a shame, really. Really a shame. He's very quick, but once again, in the spotlight for negative reasons, unfortunately. So Kennel Panic is starting in first on the mediums at the moment. Lord James, I'm not sure what's going to happen to Lord James though. Vapid maybe needs to say something about that. Hmm. Anyway, I will be going through the championship standings as it stands right now. Tom Gorian is leading the championship with 142 points. Vapid Kut in second place on 118, 24 points behind Tom Gorian. Lord James in third after a retirement the previous week in Australia. Falls behind quite significantly on 33 points. Behind Tom on 109. Quite further back, Kislesk in fourth place. 73 points for him, which means he is 69 nice points behind Tom Gorian in the standings. Jersey Deaton in fifth is on 66 points, 60 points for Scott. He did miss 4 races consecutively, so he'll be aiming to improve his championship standings this race and next week, I think, as well. Sigma Alonso in 7th with 53, 39 for Fisichella, 37 for S4 Fins in 9th place. 10th place Colonel Panic with 28 points. 11th So Fresh in the Ferrari with 27 points. Kirby is 12th with 24. Equal on points with him, Clumby in the Williams in 13th, also on 24. The Vespa Jupiter and Dr. Mo both on 22 points. Ends in the Aston Martin, 17 points for him. Jenny and Mr. Macatak both on 10 points, 17th and 18th in the standings. And then Skull Killer, Dark Sabi, and LTK Tarie all on 9 points equal. Cal 17 of 1 and EBI on 7 points each, and then Star Cracks on 1. Kimisora, Junior Korea, and Rip Braining, as well as Winner Skull, are all on 0 points. So Tom is going into this race with a very comfortable lead. For RFL standards, at least, I think. Actually, never mind that. So, don't know what's going on at the moment, as, we are changing, we are restarting the session. This is gonna take a while. For the time being, I will pause the stream, and I will be back as soon as we get going again. Ladies and gentlemen, we are finally back for the race after lobby reset. We've managed to reset everything, just having a fresh lobby to go, so hopefully no problems this time. Oh dear. Oh dear me, things have gone on in the chat, but that's yeah. Don't really tolerate that kind of stuff. Right, so here we go. We are indeed going in just about 1 minute. Let's just quickly check what kind of strategies people are running, but obviously that is still subject to change. So Lord James has been dropped at the back, but that doesn't mean that he will finish the race, as in he still may get investigated after the race. So regardless if he finishes or not, that could be still a decision pending on his head at this very moment. So take it with a pinch of salt if he managed to get a good result today. We shall see after that. You will find all infos on Twitter or the RFL Discord if you're in there. So far, Panic starting on the hards. Tom going with the mediums. Scott on the hards. Mediums for Vapid and hards for Detons. We have... Oh, Tom was also switched onto the hards as well as Scott. So again, like we said, we can't really trust until the very last second, because drivers like to do that. They like to conceal their strategies until the very last second and then switch onto the preferred tire strategy. But I think today, what's a bit more important than tires, I think, quite massively important today, is fuel. Fuel is the most important thing around the circuit because the fuel consumption is ridiculously high, and the ERS management also very important. Here we go for the formation lap, and we are off for the drivers to get the tires up to temperature. Let's see, tires. We got a couple of soft runners. We got a lot of medium runners and a couple of hard runners as well. So, okay, Tom decided to switch away from the hards and to the mediums, going a bit more aggressive at the start. It's an interesting choice indeed. Scott also in the hards, like Kennel Panic. He's gonna be aiming to go longer His tires will last also a bit better compared to medium tires. Also, Vapid is also on the mediums. And apparently around the circuit, there's not that much of a difference between the two compounds. Deton also on the hards, and we have EBI and Dr. Mo on the softs to break up the medium and hard streak we have at the front. Because let's go on the mediums, Pistachio and J25 on the hards. Kirby's opting to go for the middle compounds, the mediums. Clumby on the hards, So Fresh on the mediums. Sigma Alonso also involved in a couple of scuffles within chat. Was on the softs, and Lord James, who is starting last. Again, still doesn't mean that he is allowed to finish the race, or if he's going to keep his result. We still don't know about that. So take it with a pinch of salt. And is that a McLaren at the front? Panic has dropped significantly behind. Doesn't matter too much though, as now we head towards the start-finish straight, so the drivers can place their machines in their respective grid slots. A very quick formation lap, this one. Ooh, very close between Scott and Tom there. Switching positions right at the last second to line themselves up. Please, please game, give us better camera angles, because I don't know, this is new. This has been new for the last couple of weeks, where the camera just looks at the start from behind. No idea why, as we have 5 red lights, and we are off for the Qatar Grand Prix, as there's a car going off the track already. Scott and Tom are going for the lead. Tom goes down the inside, goes for the lead. Around the outside goes Panic. Panic keeps the lead. Tom has to back out. But look at this. Tom, Scott and Vapid are side by side for position. Which tires? The medium. Yes, Vapid is on the medium, so he will get a bit more grip. Look at EBI on the softs. He loses position to Vapid, who gains the position on Scott thanks to the medium tires. Ooh, there's a little bit of a scuffle there at the back. Deton gets past EBI up to 5th place. We have a side-by-side moment at the back here between Dr. Mo and J25. Lord James have moved up 5 positions already. He's up to 10th place, the man in the Haas. And Kirby dropped down to last, I think. So, Scott loses the most amount of places in the top, dropping down to 4th place. But look at this, Tom Gorian seems to be very close to Panic so far, but obviously he is on the mediums. The 2 medium runners having the better start than the hard using drivers to get through the final corner. Tom using some of his ERS, which is very difficult to recover around this circuit. ERS is almost impossible to regain, as EBI had a look down the inside of Scott, but Scott had a look around the outside there of Deton. Oh, there's a spin! EBI spins and resets onto the track, quite dangerously though, I do have to say so. Just the reset into the middle of the pack. Tom does take the lead, with Panic now dropping to 2nd and now being put under pressure by Vapid Koot in the Mercedes. He is not looking forward to having an attempt at overtaking the AlphaTauri driver, because they've been involved in quite a few kerfuffles in previous races, mainly Monza. So he's going to be thinking twice about making an overtake on Panic, is Vapid Koot. As Pistachio's made a good start, he's moved up to 6th place, his debut here in RFL, already doing very good. Lord James in P7 already. It's only lap 2. This guy is on a mission at the moment. He's gonna be in 6th place soon. If this keeps up. Now let's have an onboard look onto Tom Gorian's rear wing, using some of that ERS, which once again saying it's very difficult to save. Panic, who's on 94% compared to Tom's 70%. Yeah, Tom needs to watch out for that because he's draining his ERS far too quickly on a racing circuit, which is almost impossible to recover it. As Deaton, also another driver, is very low on ERS deployment. Scott, on the other hand, he knows how to run his ERS, or not run, because he doesn't use it at all. And there you have it. Look at that. Lord James is past Pistachio for 6th place, and now is putting Scott in his aim. He's going to try and get past him as quickly as possible. Starting 15th, already up to 6th place. Essentially a last to first challenge for the Haas driver at the moment. Again, he is 33 points behind Tom Gorian in the championship, so finishing ahead of him would obviously favour his championship bid, who he kind of dampened himself thanks to a mistake last week around Australia and then subsequently retiring. As we already have a first penalty of this, the session tonight, EBI, as we enter lap 3. Panic going for the move with DRS down the inside and takes the lead from Tom Gorian. Yeah, Tom has realized that he is supposed to be saving his DRS, so he didn't challenge the overtaking attempt at all. Almost just let him go through. Maybe this time try maybe to stay close to Panic and just save a little bit of ERS. General, just save some fuel, save some ERS, because he will definitely need it towards the middle part, ending part of the race. As do we see any other battle on track? There's So Fresh and EPI having a go at each other. Bit further at the back. Other than that, nothing much going on except for this beautiful train for the lead. Further back, pretty calm so far as Deaton runs a little bit wide. He did say this track is one of his better racing circuits, so hopefully he can deliver today, because Monza, he did very well. Look at that. Deaton very close to Vapid, but yeah, Deaton has a look down the inside, but thinks twice of it. Lord James actually getting past Scott there for 5th place. Scott really struggling on pace at the moment with the hard tires and not doing very well. He may even get caught by Pistachio in a minute. So Tom Gorian in the lead, using DRS to get past Colonel Panic. We did see that. Obviously, this is going to be a running theme over the course of this race. DRS overtakes on the main straight. One lap is going to be Tom, the next lap is going to be Panic, and this is the lap that Panic will attempt his overtake on Tom once again. Really close. Did you see how close he gets? Vapid a bit further behind. Let's see what kind of straight line speed as Dr. Mo retires from the session. Do we get a safety car there? Maybe not, but Tom does get passed by Colonel Panic into turn 1, gets ahead just in time as we get Lord James shaking up a move on Deaton. Doesn't manage to get it done though. As he has another look there in the background, James, you can see him really trying to get a move on. Scott steadily dropping further and further back, really not finding his element at the moment here in Qatar. Tom is further away now this lap. He's 8/10 behind. As Vapid is... Actually, Tom now has closed up quite dramatically through that section. He's closed up just about 0.2 of a second. That will be enough, obviously. He is in DRS range. That will be a bit easier to gain some time on Colonel Panic, who still has not used a single ounce of ERS. As Kirby gets a penalty for exceeding track limits. As Deaton this time around has a look on Vapid. The previous lap it was James having a look at Deaton, but this time around it's Deaton who's gone onto the offense. Look at that, Vapid moving all over the shot there. James having a look down the inside, like saying, please get a move on. I'm so close to the lead. And nothing much you can do at the moment other than watch and wait for the right opportunity to make an overtake. As the front two are still pretty close to each other. Scott is sitting there. He's still losing time. He's gone from 1.5 seconds to up to 2.2 now. So consistently losing time as EBI spins once again. I think just yellow flags for him. Onboard shot as Columbi, or no, J25 gets a penalty for exceeding track limits. EBI also getting a penalty. Tom Gorian not wanting to go past. As James has a look around the outside of Deaton, as Deaton loses the car and keeps it though. On track. Doesn't cause an accident, still keeps going. So good car control from the man in the McLaren. As EBI gets another time penalty. So hopefully... speeding in the pit lane. Lord James is up to 3rd place after just 8 laps. And he's already aiming for the lead. But look at that, he's got no ERS available to him at all. He's on 5% deployment. While the two in front of him have more than 70%. And Colonel Panic with a full capacity available to him. 92% on the ERS, 70% on the ERS, and 3% on the ERS. His lights flashing. Vapid is looking at him like, ooh, he's already used up all his ERS. Why has he done that? Now, let's see. Does he have the straight line speed to do anything about these two guys in front of him? As Tom has a look down the inside, and he does get past him into turn 1 before even getting to the braking zone. Is already back in the lead. With Lord James now flashing his lights still, because no ERS is available at the moment for him. He's only on 10%. He is putting Colonel Panic under pressure now. Trying to find a way past him. He will have to wait until the very next DRS straight, which is the final, which is the main straight. As, yeah, Dr. Mo with wheel issues, retiring from the race, understandably frustrated about that. Let's go on board with Lord James to see what he can do for himself now. Tom getting a bit further away now. Half a second is the gap between himself and Colonel Panic in second. But Lord James has announced his presence quite prominently. And he's going to be aiming to get past that AlphaTauri as quickly as physically possible. But does have some decent amount of straight line speed. Does Colonel Panic in that Italian AlphaTauri car. While the American mobile, driven by Lord James, is still stuck behind that AlphaTauri. He's gonna have to get past him very soon. As soon as possible, because basically both Tom and Vapid and Lord James are all on mediums, but James is a different level at the moment. Scott is dropping further and further back each lap. He's now 2.5 seconds behind Deaton, and Pistachio is not losing that much time to him, in all fairness. As we go through this beautiful triple right-hander into a very quick left-hander to head towards the final corner. This time around, Panic is much closer to Tom than he was the previous lap. Tom with almost 30% less ERS for him, as James has to line up behind Tom. Ooh, around the outside, Tom Gorian, as Panic did go for the lead there. James also has a look down the inside. Nah, he has to stick it. He has to stick it behind him. Has to wait for it. Just calm down a little bit and have a go on the next lap. And Vapid's been brought into this at the same time. These three guys ahead of him fighting so hard that he is gaining. And is right there now. He's right there, just behind them. And he can also have a say in how this race is going to go towards the end. As we are on lap 11, we're approaching halfway distance very quickly indeed tonight. With Lord James closer to Tom than Tom is to Colonel Panic, who is driving very well today, I do have to say so. Except that qualifying mishap, he's been driving really good today. And there you have, look at that, James having a look around the outside now. Around the outside, making it inside now, has a little bit of a better exit than Tom. Nothing much Tom can do. As James is close around the outside. Does he dare to go around the outside? He does not there, but he gets really close and personal with Tom's diffuser there. Has to yield one more lap. But look at, no, maybe not, because look at that. He's so close to Tom. Tom being put under massive pressure by the Haas driver. We really are having ourselves a beautiful battle for the lead. A beautiful four-way battle of the lead. For the lead nonetheless. With Colonel Panic leading most of the race at the moment, lap 12. We're about to go into lap 13. Sorry, I had a few issues there. I didn't... few issues with the microphone. Apologies for that. Here we have an attempt at an overtake. Panic going side by side into turn 1, and he gets the lead. Back away from Panic, from Lord James. Panic really showing, doing great today as Kirby gets another penalty. So we've seen, by the way, apologies for missing. We still had a few technical difficulties trying to fix them with the microphone, but there it is working now. So apologies for that. Rapid chasing Tom Gorian. Tom, who is in a lap pressure set after pitting a lap later. Scott moves up into 3rd place. But yeah, he struggled for pace today. Really not showing anything brilliant this race so far. He's 8 seconds behind Lord James, who started in 15th. Started very far behind him and is now 8 seconds in front. As there you have it, look at that. We just catch James just in time to go into the pits. He's going to go away from those mediums and put on a fresh set of hards, which should last him quite nicely to the end. Panic, who is on the hards, is going to go for another lap or 2 before pitting in for a set of medium tires, I take it, unless he goes for a... Unless he's going for the audacious soft tire strategy. But we can't know for sure. We'll find out in just a few moments. As Vapid sets the fastest lap of the race, using the DRS to help him. Tom Gorian only a 30% ERS. They're really abusing it at the moment, these two. With Lord James recovering quite nice amount of ERS. As we have a yellow flag there at the back. It's J25 and EPI being involved in the accident, I think. Scott steadily losing time against Colonel Panic. This gap has risen now to 9 seconds. Tom still being put under pressure by Vapid. Lord James just a bit further back. He's gonna catch them pretty soon, I imagine. I assume, because he's been on he's been on fire today. And Panic and Scott will be the only two in the top 5 to then have a medium set for the final stint. Unless we still, obviously, if we get a safety car, then that's going to change. But nothing of the sort, as Panic does change onto the medium tire, so he's not going to try and go on the on the softs. Those go on the mediums. There you have it. A couple of people getting past. This is important. This is Lord James versus Colonel Panic for the virtual lead, so per se. But look at that. In the meantime, as well, Vapid did get past Tom. We did see that on screen. Tom getting passed by Vapid thanks to DRS from the Scotsman in the Mercedes. A lot of things going on simultaneously, so I can't really catch all of it. I am alone today. Cal didn't manage to make it, unfortunately. Unavailable for his commentary position, so I'm doing this all by myself. So apologies if I don't catch or see everything. I'm only focusing here on what is truly an very enticing battle for the lead. These two having jumped, they did jump a Lord James, so basically their order is inverted now from before the pit stop. So instead of Colonel Panic, Lord James, Tom Gorian and Vapikut, we have the exact reverse order, as you can see in the background. You can see Tom go for the lead as Scott pits in for a set of medium tires, and Tom indeed gets the lead. with Lord James getting the fastest lap. He's now within 7/10 of a second of second placed Vapid Coot 74 with a time penalty once again for EBI. Lord James really applying the blowtorch as EBI retires from the session. Don't know if that is on track, if that was on purpose. No, he did crash, so he's crashed into the wall there. He spun and crashed into the wall, I assume. So far, though, no safety car. Don't think so, at least. Nope. Still green flag racing conditions. Vapid is being put more under pressure by James than he is putting Tom under pressure. Look at that, he's already made a small mistake around the outside. What is it? What kind of overtaking spot is that? I don't know, but Panic forces his way past. Very aggressive, maybe too aggressive. So Vapid getting done around the outside and then immediately getting done by a very aggressive Colonel Panic. May need to watch the aggression a little bit. That was very on the limit. But he does make a beautiful overtake around the outside. You have to give him that. Very beautiful overtake for second place. Now he will put Tom under pressure. Could Colonel Panic go for his first race win here in RFL? Potentially. Then there's still the question of that qualifying accident, if that's going to take any, if that will be applied to his race finish. But of course, we still have 10 laps to go, just about 9.5. And at the moment, Tom Gorian is leading the pack. Quite aggressive battle for the lead at the moment, as Clumby with another time penalty. I think his second one of the weekend. Yeah, Panic is on another level at the moment. He's really putting Tom under pressure now. He's going to get past him on the main straight, most definitely. He already has a look down the inside. You can see just how much more overspeed that AlphaTauri has against the Tom Gorian's Alpine. And there you have it, Tom being overtaken by... Is this going to be a double overtake? No, James tries to stick it around the outside. Turns it in, makes it into an inside and then outside again. So Panic swoops into the lead, and now he's going to try his best to get away from Tom and Lord James, who, again, James being on an absolutely other planet today. Still think he does have the pace against Panic, but we shall find out. He still needs to get past Tom first. Tom doing a nice job of making his car very wide. Oh, Panic gets a penalty for exceeding track limits. That's big news for Tom and James. They will be looking to stay as close as physically possible to Colonel Panic towards the end of the race, because we've got 8 laps left to go. Just about 7.5 now. Less than 7.5. James probably getting the wake-up call he needs, because he needs to get past Tom now. Opening up that DRS nice and wide. Moves to the inside of the main straight and gets past Tom fairly easily there. Nothing Tom can do really to defend that. And now it's Lord James back into second and now chasing for the lead. But other than this battle for the lead, we don't have anything else. Vapid has dropped off a little bit in the process of that. Other than that, Deaton is in no man's land, Scott's in no man's land, Sigma Alonso is a bit in no man's land, as well as Pistachio and Kislesko. TM Kirby is also a bit by himself at the moment in 10th place. He's 5 seconds ahead of SoFresh, 22 seconds behind Kislesko. And it's just everyone is the field is quite heavily spread at the moment, with the exception of the top few. We'll stick with Lord James. At the moment, if he's completely drained his battery. He's got nothing left to give in terms of that. Down the main straight, as Pistachio gets his first penalty of the race, which has been a pretty solid debut for the Mercedes driver. He's in 8th place, ahead of Kizlesko, and just behind, a couple of seconds behind Sigma Alonso. So don't know if Vapid got any damage with that kerfuffle between himself and a very aggressive diving Colonel Panic into that final corner. Maybe some damage, because he is significantly losing time now. Lord James, nothing. He doesn't seem to be able to get closer to Panic, but that's not something he needs to do anyway. As long as he doesn't get a penalty himself, I think he can be pretty chill there in 2nd place and get himself a win from last place, on penalties at least. Obviously, still the question if the result will even count for Lord James. So once again, saying this, Vapakutes gets his first time penalty of the evening. We're about to enter lap 24, with just 5 laps left to go, and look at that. Oh, okay. Colonel Panic is also a bit low on the RS deployment. He's probably been trying to push to get away from James as much as he can, but it doesn't seem to be working for him. And I have a feeling the hard tires will come back to Lord James and favour him a little bit here, because he is getting a little bit, just a little bit closer. 1.3 seconds, the gap. Now up to 1.3. 1.2, 1.3 again. Apologies if I'm focusing only on James here, but there's nothing else going on at the moment. There's a massive field spread. As you can see individually on the minimap, there's nobody's chasing anyone. It's just everyone driving for themselves at the moment. Except the only exception being Lord James, who is doing his best to catch up again to Colonel Panic. James still using his ERS even though it's on 0%. This time around he was barely, just barely out of DRS range. If he can keep this up, next lap he could be within attacking distance. And that's going to favour him quite a bit, because I think Panic is starting to struggle a little bit on those medium tyres. The AlphaTauri driver. Putting them on 7 laps ago. I think the mediums we've seen that the medium tyre isn't the race tyre. But the hard tyre actually is the ideal race tyre. From what we've seen today, Tom still steadily dropping further and further back. But that's all he needs to get. A podium is more than enough. He gains on Vapid. He would be gaining on Vapid, who is his most direct rival. With, I think, a 24-point gap deficit to the lead, and that's this gap is going to rise, but it's going to get smaller between himself and Lord James. Tom Gordon really needs to see if he can do anything about his position, because obviously Colonel Panic is on a 3-second time penalty, and Lord James could still get a he could pay consequences for his actions in qualifying for not serving as quali ban. So we don't know how that's going to play out still. But at the moment, he is winning the race. So Tom, with the afterthought that, hey, maybe James could actually not even get his result, and Colonel Panic is only just a few seconds in front of me. I could get this win if I am within 3 seconds and James does get something handed to him. But we obviously don't know. We'll leave that to the stewards. Just saying, take it with a pinch of salt. This is not going to be the final result if James wins. Lap 26 now. Just 3.5 laps to go to the end of a race that's been pretty quick, actually. We've had a nice battle for the lead. We still have a nice battle for the lead, and this time around, Lord James is within a second window of Colonel Panic, so he's gonna very happily open that DRS and get himself in striking distance of Colonel Panic, who has been leading most of the race. He's been driving very well today. Do you have to say so, after the kerfuffles he's caused the last couple of races? Happy to see that he is going for a potential win here, as Scott and Deaton are having, a ding-dong. Scott has a look down the inside, as Kirby gets another time penalty. I think that's going to cost him position to So Fresh. We'll move back into the lead, because that is what we're looking at. That is way more important than a battle for 5th place. James only half a second behind Panic. He wants to win this on track, I believe. We're about to enter the final 2 laps of the race. We've got 2.5 laps to go. Both of these two on very low deployment, 11 and 8%. James with the DRS once again gets closer, it gets really close, up and close and personal. Vapid's gained a little bit of time again to Tom Gordian in 3rd place, but with that penalty, I don't think Vapid can really do anything, as Scott gets past Deaton, but Deaton hangs it around the outside, but oh, that's it. The move is done and dusted for Scott, who moves up into 5th place. We are nearing the final lap now, but it's still not over. Lord James could still get a penalty on track. Perhaps if he makes one mistake, one warning too many, could be detrimental. Obviously Panic with a penalty at the moment. He's right there. He's right under the gearbox of the AlphaTauri in front of him. Question is, will James go for the overtake, or will he stay behind? The answer is he goes for the overtake, has a switch from the outside to inside to outside again, and makes a beautiful overtake around the outside. And now he's gonna need to try and get away a little bit, just get himself in a safe gap, because as long as Panic is close, I cannot disclose a potential dive, aggressive overtake from the AlphaTauri driver. But so far so good. Doesn't look like an overtake is going to be made. So James officially takes the lead on track. He's going to win it on penalties. He is going to win it on track, as Sigma Alonso sets the fastest lap. 1:23.056 on the fresh set of softs, as Kirby also puts in for a fresh set of softs and drops himself into 13th place. But that doesn't matter at the moment who gets the fastest lap, because Lord James, starting from 15th on the grid, starting last basically, goes through the final corner and crosses the line to win. Actually, the line is a bit further back. And he wins the Qatar Grand Prix with a beautiful drive. Vapid did get past Tom, and I think Tom slows down. Scott goes for the overtake. They were they were equal on time there. 26 thousandths of a second between the two. Kirby slows down, gets himself done and dusted. Pistachio crosses the line in 7th. Sigma Alonso in 8th place. Crosses the line. Oh, exceeding track limits. 10-second time penalty. Kozlesko has run out of fuel. He is going to crawl across the line. A very monotone race for Kozlesko today. Probably not one of his favorite circuits. So Fresh also running out of fuel. I think Kirby also ran out of fuel. I'm pretty sure he did. Yeah, Kirby ran out of fuel. So all these drivers here at the back have all ran out of fuel. So the final 4 cars all running out of fuel. Final 5 cars at least. So Fresh crosses the line, crawls across the line to get P10. J25 with also just, oh, look at Clumby getting close there. Clumby almost getting him on the line. But that is it. That is the Qatar. This is your results for the Qatar Grand Prix. Lord James, driver of the day, I do agree. Started last, finished first. Did essentially a last to first challenge there. Celebrating his win. Did get it pretty fair and square actually. Putting himself in last position to get himself a win is quite remarkable. Just shows how much pace this man has. And it is time for the champagne celebrations. And that's it. There you have it. Your race results for today. Lord James, Colonel Panic, and Vapid, who did get the... did Tom also run out of fuel? I'm not too sure. Couldn't catch that. But Tom concedes position. He drops down to 4th place after starting 2nd. And that means that all of his rivals gain on him. Vapid gains on him, and Lord James especially gains on him in the championship. Scott finishes a monotone 5th. Deton in 6th place. Pistachio, good debut for the Mercedes driver, starting 9th, finishing 7th, so very good for him. Sigma Alonso 8th place. Kozlesko 9th, 10th for So Fresh. J25 Clumby, and TM Kirby rounding out the finishers. All of them, by the way, not finishing the race on fuel. All of them running out of fuel, and the 2 DNFs, EBAI and Dr. Mo. The only 2 DNFs of the race. And there you have it. That is your Qatar Grand Prix for today. I hope you've all enjoyed it. I quite enjoyed the battle for the lead. It was very intense. We almost had a first-time winner in the shape of Colonel Panic, but we shall see how that turns out. We still don't know if James is going to keep his win. We'll find out pretty soon. But other than that, that's all on my side, and I wish you a very good evening, and don't forget to, by the way, don't forget to tune in for Papa Champs this Monday, in which they are running the gimmick race around the Hungarian racetrack in Hungary. The April Fool's race for the pit stops, at least, where you have to pit 28 times in a 50% race. And that's going to be a lot of fun, I guess. Make sure to tune in for that one. You will want to see it. But other than that, hope you've enjoyed it, and we'll catch you next week for round 10. Round 10. Yep, it is round 10, so I'll catch you then. See yas.